myself Harshit, and today we are going to start the basics or the fundamentals of tactics. There's the most occurring tactic on the board, pin. If you have never heard of it, no worries. If you know even the slightest idea of a pin, let's go through it and just clear all the fundamentals and try to understand what a pin is all about. This is a session for advanced beginners who knows how to move all the pieces and knows all the basic intricacies of the game and are well versed with the basic principles of opening and the basic chess rules, of course. So let's start directly into the tactic pin. I think my screen is being shared right now. So, to be specific about the definition, a pin is okay. What's a pin in a very simple and layman language? It is something when a smaller value piece is stuck and he can't move, or the higher value key piece will be captured. Let's just look at through the examples. Here, bishop c4 is pinning the queen because the queen is not available to move. It's hindering because if the queen moves, then the king will be in the danger. In chess, it's illegal. So the queen is pinned. Sometimes there are two types of, basically there are two types of pin, absolute pin and relative pin. But don't worry, we won't go into the depth of that topic. We'll eventually just learn it through. First, we need to cover this one. So absolute pin is nothing but when a king is behind, so there is no way the queen can move. The queen has to give up itself for the bishop, and then it's a good trade, as we know that a queen is worth 9 points and the bishop is worth just 3 points. So a relative pin is something like this. When we pin and the knight can move, it's not an illegal. But don't worry, just take it easy. It's just for your knowledge. We are definitely going to see through the basic patterns. And then eventually, after a while, we are going to check that the basic deep problems of pin. So in this position, bishop g2 is pinning away the knight. And as we can see, the knight is unable to move because the rook will be under attack. So what is the move black can play? Well, black can just simply go and says, okay, I'm unpinning my knight, but it's way too late. We win a piece. Simple as that. This position is slightly complicated, but let's just try to understand that how do we find a pin? How do we look for pin? Basically, a pin is something, what you really need to look for is some kind of patterns in opponent's pieces. Either they are aligned in some vertical way, horizontal way, or diagonally. These are the three ways some pieces can be aligned. So you can also call it sleeping line, straight line, and diagonals. So it's all right. It's all right. You just need to look for some kind of patterns. And in this game, Queen B3 is something which is pinning away the rook. Now, it does not always mean that it results in some kind of a material win or something like that. But the pin is very annoying because it's just stopping the rook to move anywhere. And who knows, it might get captured. So let's just not focus on how do we exploit the pin and how do we just win games through pin. But let's just try to understand the basic motive of this video is to just give you the slightest hint and the slightest idea of what a pin is all about. If you don't know anything about it, obviously. Let's move on to the another example. Now I would like you to just pause and think for a while, just pause the video and think for a while that how can we basically first can you just find any pattern in opponent's pieces? Are they aligned in some kind of way? What were the three ways? Vertically, horizontally, let's say a straight, sleeping line, and diagonals. Okay. So can you find any pattern? Yeah, good. They are aligned in a straight line. So whenever you see such kind of patterns, always try to find a move where you can pressure both. So is there any way you can just pressure both the pieces at once? Is there any way? As they're aligned straight, so can you just move your some piece also in that straight line to just attack both of them? You can pause the video and think about the answer. And even if you don't get it, please, it's all right. Okay, I hope you are back. And the answer is Rook D1. This is pinning the queen, and there is no way black can move the white can move the queen because the king will be in danger. So black again has to give up his queen, and it's a favorable trade. Definitely, it's a good trade. So that's how the pin is all about. And no worries if you don't get the answer. It's all right. I think even if you just understand that a pin is somewhat aligned in a way and any kind of line or anything, the very basic thing, then to it's all right. This is just for the idea of what a pin is all about. After this, we are going to do some tactics. And for the adult learners, don't worry if you don't get it. We are going to do some high level puzzles as well. And eventually, you will learn all the concepts of pin. And then only we'll move to the next tactics. So don't worry, just take it very easy. And to all the kids, it's all right if you are just able to spot the idea, even if you're getting the slightest hints. Kudos for that. Now, in this position, we can see that these pieces are aligned in some horizontal way. This rook and a knight. So, sorry, diagonally. So, is there any way we can pressure the diagonal? Can we do it with the help of rook? No, right? A rook does not move into the diagonals. So, what's the only piece available to move into the diagonals? Bishop. Correct. Bishop f6 is the move. Here we are pressuring the knight, and the knight is pinned because the knight, being the smaller value piece, can't move because it will leave the rook hanging. Hence, white has nothing better to do, but if he unpins, he simply loses a piece. Let's move on to the another example. This one is slightly complicated, but again, if you are well versed with the concepts of pin, and if you are looking to find a pin, just trying to find any pattern or any similarities between opponents' pieces. How are they aligned? This is the first question you should ask yourself while going through pin tactics and while going through pin all over the board as well. Is there any pattern you can find straight, sleeping, or diagonally? Yes, absolutely right. This is the move. Hello. Yeah, were you able to see that? Oh, sorry. I think I had some glitch. Sorry. Sorry for the inconvenience. Well, if you were able to spot it, then it's good. Or otherwise, you can just pause it right now and try to find some way if the pieces are aligned in any kind of way, and you can just pressure them. Fantastic. Bishop b3 is the move. And simply, the queen and the king are aligned diagonally, and bishop is simply pressuring. And this queen is also pinned as well. There is no choice for black but to give up his queen for the bishop. And we will win the game. Correct. Let's move on to this example. This one is slightly easy, but I think that you are going to understand what a pin is all about. Slightly, you are going to learn how a pin works. Yep. Try to find the video from white. Try to find the answer from white side. It's white to move. Fantastic. Bishop b3. Again, the bishop is being supported by this pawn, and we are pressuring these queen and king aligned diagonally. And as we can see, the queen really wants to move and say, okay, you are attacking me, I want to move. The queen can't move in this diagonal. Queen would love to go here and give some kind of check from here if possible, but there is no way the queen can go because the king will be in attack. Sometimes the queen might be able to move, but in this case, this is an absolute pin, and there is no way a piece can move, the queen can move in this position, or the king will be under check. It's an illegal. Now, this is a slightly tricky example, but in this position, we just need to again find the pattern between opponent's pieces. How are they aligned? Simple as that. Is there anything? Correct. They are aligned vertically, they are aligned straight. So, what do? We play this brilliant move, bishop f4, which is unleashing the rook and it's pinning the bishop. Now we can see that the bishop can't move because the rook will be in danger. Again, smaller value piece can't move because the higher value piece will be under attack. So this is how sometimes pin can be tricky as well, that there is no pin in this position, but we are creating the pin, and that's how it works. Let's move on to this example. With the previous example, just try to link it through that. The pin is not always that easy. Sometimes it's not always the king, not always with the king, but you just need to look some kind of patterns again. Yep, pause the video and look for it. And even if you don't want to, if you were not able to look for the answer, then just do not need to worry about it. Take it very easy. This is our first chapter. You are just being introduced to the pin. and just getting the slightest and the smallest of concepts is enough for this session. And definitely, we are going to learn more about pen in the upcoming sessions and in the intermediate batches. Rook d1 is the move here. We can just play to pressure this bishop. Now this we are saying that okay bishop you cannot move because the rook will be captured and my bishop is pressing you. I'm threatening to play this. Now black might try to play f6, f5, pushing the bishop away. He's asking okay please move away because then I can at least there is no pressure on this bishop. But what we can do is just simply capture this pawn. Now this pawn may look first a hanging free. We just captured a free pawn but it's sorry, this might look like we just gave up a free bishop. But if you think carefully, then the bishop can't really move because if he captures this bishop, then the rook will be hanging, and obviously the person won't don't wants that. So there is no way, he can escape from that pin. The only thing he can try is maybe to bring king f7, trying to play king e7 and defend it, and then maybe move this. But why black is just way too short for that plan. We capture this and we are simply a piece of. So that's it. Now, I hope you are well versed with the basic concepts of pin, and I am glad that we were able to cover this topic in this less time. It is the most vital tactic on the board, and it's the most occurring one as well. It's the very, very common thing. So, just a slightly advanced concept for pin. It's not mandatory for you if you are the absolute beginner. You are just learning about tactics, but it's just something that you need to keep in your mind. And don't worry, we are going to cover this in great depth in the intermediate sessions and in the upcoming classes. So just remember one thing, it's very funny. PPPP. What's a PPP? A PPPP is put pressure on pinned piece. Here we can see that the knight is pinned and all these things are aligned in that way. And black is saying that, okay, I cannot move my knight because my queen will be under attack. But white, how are we going to proceed in this game? I know that your bishop is pinning my knight, but what if I just simply don't move it? Your pin is worthless. But then we come up with this move, e5. This is a great move because we are putting pressure on the knight and we are asking, okay, knight, you are worth 3 points and I am a pawn. I am worth just a 1 point and I'm threatening to take you. You gotta be moving very fast. But as we can see, that there is no way the knight can move because it will result in the loss of queen. So black has nothing to do but to just move his queen and getting unpinned. But it's just way too late now. We capture the knight and then we capture the pawn and we have won a piece and we will win the game eventually. Well, thank you so much for being here with me, and I hope you liked the session. I hope you got the basic ideas of what a pen is all about. Looking forward to learn pen and other tactics with you. Thank you so much.